Hey everyone, welcome back to Kids Network Studios. I'm Amy Kuhn, aka 1028. Now, I know it's been a super long time since I updated this series, but that's what happens when you have college classes and internship every single day. All that aside though, I'm hoping you guys saw my announcement. If not, here it is again. We are no longer doing Pokemon reviews. Big shock, I know. But in all honesty, you can always find out for yourselves what Pokemon are good and what Pokemon are bad competitively on your own. You don't need me to tell you otherwise. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other websites out there that you can easily access to get the information that you need that I possibly or probably never covered. Anyway, moving from that subject onto our new subject. Instead of covering what Pokemon are good or bad competitively, we're going to cover games! Actually, we're going to cover Pokemon games, and then we're probably going to move into the anime. But I'd rather do the Pokemon games first and avoid the anime at all costs. So after I run out of Pokemon games, I might start covering Mario games and then Crash Bandicoot games. And then if I really run out of things to do, then I'll cover the Pokemon anime. But other than that, the first game I want to cover is, of course, one of the first games I remember playing as a kid, aside from Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2. And that was Pokemon Colosseum. Pokemon Colosseum took in the far-off region of or Ore, depending on how you pronounce it. The first cutscene that takes place in the storyline of the game is what really grabs your attention. Not only does this mysterious-looking guy go into this secret base and steal this piece of equipment that goes on your right arm, but he has an Espeon and an Umbreon helping him. Well, more Umbreon helping him because Umbreon went inside and Espeon was just waiting in the getaway hover cycle. Anyway, not my point. So, you would think after this guy steals this thingy, yeah, I said thingy. I said thingy. You would think that would be the end of it. Wrong-o, as the Grinch would say. This guy not only gets away in this hover cycle that Espeon was guarding, but he blows up the entire hideout that he and Umbreon was just in. And this guy's your playable character. Talk about an awesome person. His name is Wes, and what we know about him is a mystery to us, as is the thingy that he stole. We'll explain that later. Anyways, once you finally get a chance to play as Wes, you start off with not one starter, but two. The Espeon and Umbreon you just saw in that awesome first cutscene. Not only do you get two starters at the exact same time, first time that's ever happened in a Pokemon game up to this point, but they're two EV evolutions. They're two EV evolutions that you don't have to stress over to get if you're going for that gotta catch 'em all run. Talk about twisting from Nintendo in a Pokemon game. I loved it. But sadly though, most Pokemon fans don't consider the game or its sequel, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which we'll cover later in a later video, a part of the timeline or franchise, depending on how you look at it. Why? Well, in all honesty, I never found out the answer myself. But I think it goes something like this. One, or despite it being far away, was never addressed in the games after it, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, etc., nor was ever addressed in the anime. But here's the kick in the head. Listen to this. Even though you're able to transfer your Pokemon from this game and its predecessor over your Ruby, Sapphire, and later Emerald games, the description of the Pokemon that you got it from was always from a faraway land. Was Or really Narnia? Kinda makes you think. Anyways, all that aside, I personally love this game. The main mechanics are awesome. And remember that thingy that I mentioned earlier that that was actually a snag machine. And you guys are probably like, what? This guy's supposed to be the hero. I know, but let me explain. When Les goes to Fanatic City for the first time, he runs into two punks that he saw at the gas station earlier and battles and defeats the one. This whole time they had a moving sack, and in the sack was, to quote Chugga Conroy here, a mail-order girlfriend. Sorry, I had to say it. Anyway. Actually, her name is Rui. That looked like a Misty slightly. And she was kidnapped by these two goons. Again, the Y pops in. Apparently, she saw these two goons use a Pokemon that acted strangely. Wow, that's really helpful. Yeah, how strange are we getting here? It's not until later on in Fanatic City that you learn that the team that Wes stole the thingy from was a snag machine able to steal all the trainers' Pokemon. And on top of that, Wes was an ex-member. Yeah, talk about a plot twist. It's just like, wow, that blew me away. So, yeah, the storyline of this game was just amazing. The graphics were awesome as well. However, there were a few things that I didn't like about the game. And I'm going to talk about them really quick. 1. There weren't a lot of shadow Pokemon to snag. Now, I know, Ori, or whatever, is just displayed to be a desert-like wasteland. But they could have added a few more shadow Pokemon. Come on. 2. The amount of time it took to purify a shadow Pokemon. Oh my gosh! Did anyone else besides me have problems maintaining a decent team while trying to purify the shadows at the exact same time? I know I did, and it frustrated me. And it got really annoying. Because of this mechanic, I kept having to rotate my team, and I was just like... Okay, that was weird. And finally, the third thing I did not like at all, Mount Battle. 100 battles. You had to have your own party that you got and raised from Colosseum in this long pathway fight to the top. If you made it to the top, not only were you granted with the hardest fight in the game, but if you didn't do it right, back down you went. Well, you didn't go all the way back, but you still went back down. Okay, you guys are probably like, okay, so why do it in the first place? One word. Ho-Oh. Yeah, if you did all that crap and won, you were able to get Ho-Oh. Kind of a bad prize, considering what game came next. Heart gulp. With all that said, Pokemon Colosseum was an amazing game. And I wish more was added to it, minus the Jirachi I got for getting the game. I give Colosseum my personal rating of 8 out of 10. So that's all you need to know about Pokemon Colosseum, and I covered it in 9 minutes and 35 seconds. That's not bad. Next time on our Pokemon video game reviews, I'll be making a different playlist for this, don't worry. And won't be mixed in with the video game series, because that's void and done. But anyway, our next video will be covering Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, the sequel to Colosseum. Will it fare against its own, what did they call it? Anyway, how will Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness do? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. Till next time, guys, I'll see you Friday. This is Amy Kuhn, AK1028. Kids Network Studios is signing off. Bye, guys. Yeah, I'm back.